Hello, everybody. Welcome to Physics 1106 Lab. So, as you know, there's a lecture section for this class, but this is just the lab. So you have a different professor for the lecture, FYI. Okay, so let's take a look at the course. Now, a lot of you have been in the previous ones, Physics 1105, so it's very similar. You have a lab kit. For those of you who were in 1105, you do already have your lab kit materials that came with the other kit. Now, if you're just taking this class, you will be receiving a lab kit. Please let us know if you don't within the next week or so. Okay, so this is the Moodle site. When you log in, you can log in at moodle.randolphcollege.edu, and then log in with your Randolph login. If you can't get in, you need to call the IT department at Randolph College and figure out what's going on. Okay, let's take a look at the lab. All right. So the lab is organized here according to this calendar. And so there's a lot of different things, different moving parts here. So one is there's always a pre-lab. And actually, the first couple of days or week or so, you're also going to have some other activities in addition to the pre-labs. And then you'll have lab activities. And let me see if I can click on this and make this a little bigger. Come on, it's not clicking. Let's go to edit settings and see if I can get a look at it. Okay. Well, this isn't working great, but all right, that's not good. Let me go out of this. Let's see. So you should be able to download this and print it out. Um and let me just try to zoom in a little bit. There we go. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so you can see that there are due dates for the pre-labs. There are due dates in red for the labs themselves, and there are suggested days for when you should be doing the lab activities. Now, you don't have to do them on those days, but you have to turn the lab in by its due date. So it could be that, that you don't do this lab one until the night before, fine. But, if you get yourself into trouble where you have to ask some questions and it's midnight that night, you may not be able to get it done by the next day. So we suggest that you do the lab activities on these green dates. Okay. And there's 10 labs altogether, and they're organized into sections on the page. So I will tell you how to contact me in a bit, but let's just look through um, the lab. So for instance, here's the first lab. It tells you that the report type is informal. So now we have three different types of lab reports. We have an informal, which are just quizzes on Moodle. And we have a formal lab, which is more like a formal lab report. You'll have a lot more information before you have to submit one of those on what that means. And then we have one lab in which you're going to make a video report, okay? And that's actually the first one. Okay, so if you look here, there's a to-do list that says, do the pre-lab assignment, and then there's extra stuff in this first week or so that we want you to complete. And then there's an informal report quiz here. So here, um, there's all these different quizzes you have to take. There's hint links and things, stuff like that about how to do it. Okay. And there's an informal report quiz here that's due. So each lab has its own little section, tells you kind of all of that kind of information. Okay. I hope that makes sense. There's usually an introduction video that helps you get started. There's a manual that tells you exactly what to do. Okay. And lots of other little things as you move through. And again, always a pre-lab and then a lab, either formal, informal, etc. Okay. Let's take a look at number 3. This is the first one that has a formal report. So again, the same kind of structure. We have a manual, we have an intro video, we have some formal lab write-up guidelines, and then a quiz on those guidelines to make sure you understand what to do. And then you're going to be doing a pre-lab and turning in a formal report. Okay. So this is where you're going to have to actually write some stuff and make sure that you have all the information that we want in that formal report. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The first time you're going to require a lab kit is on lab 4. And so you have a little time to get that lab kit and make sure that you get it. So email me if you have not gotten it within the first week or so. Okay. Um, as you can see, this is due on the 23rd, or the 28th is when that informal report is due. There's a pre-lab, which doesn't use the lab manual. I mean, sorry, doesn't use the lab kit is due on the 23rd. But you have a little time until that first lab that requires a lab kit is due. All right. So I hope that helps you get started, and we will see you in lab. Now, if you want to get a hold of me, right, to ask questions, etc., up here at the top is my information. Now, the best way to contact me is actually text. Okay. I see text faster than I would see an email, right? And we can arrange a time to meet, or I can answer your question over text, or etc. And that's my phone number there. Now, if you text me, 9 p.m. Some night, I may not be getting back to you till the morning, but text is a good way to get hold of me. All right, well, we'll see you, and hopefully you'll enjoy this class and get a lot done. All right. Have a good time.